essential element of military
We're in
discipline.
the ocean
Before the
of
mid-1960s,
Annapolis.
none of these fields existed, as this area of the harbor was all water.
First
It was about this
capital
time
of
that the
the United
Severn River was
States
dredged,
was
rocks were
established for
placed
9
where you see
months.
them, and the fields were created by filling in the bottom material behind the rocks.
Our
As a matter of
ancestors were
fact,
slaves.
when the Naval Academy was founded in
Right
1845,
here, right
it
in the
consisted of
ocean.
less than 10
Take a
acres.
look.
It's now
It's
over
our anniversary.
338 acres,
We are
a great deal of which was created by
See?
dredging the harbor bottom.
Take a look.
Again, on your left, you'll see what appears to be a complex of buildings, but it's really one, Bancroft Hall, the dormitory of the men and women of the Academy. It's reported to be the largest dormitory in the United States, housing approximately 4,400 men and women. It contains 1,700 rooms, 4.8 miles of corridor, covers over 33 acres of floor space, and even has its own zip code. The hall is named for George Bancroft, Secretary of the Navy, who in 1845 arranged for the transfer of Fort Severn to the point of land where the Academy is now situated. On October 10th, 1845, approximately 50 midshipmen and a 7-man faculty began the Academy, which has operated here continuously since that time, except for a short transfer to Newport, Rhode Island during the Civil War. During the Civil War, the Naval Academy grounds were turned over to the Union Army and were predominantly used as a
Those
hospital.
are the life jackets.
On our left, located at the corner of the seawall closest to us, try to spot the white masts with a damaged platform. This is the foremasts from the battleship Maine that in 1898 sunk in an explosion in Havana Bay, Cuba. The disaster killed a majority of her crew, carrying nearly 260 sailors to their deaths, and launched the United States into the Spanish-American War. This memorial has stood here at the Academy since 1913, while the ship's main mast stands in Arlington National Cemetery. If you look just beyond the masts, you'll see a long, black Mark 14 torpedo, the type used by American submarines during the Second World War. Notorious for frequent malfunctions, this torpedo is dedicated to the 427 crew members who died in U.S. submarine disasters between 1900 and 1975. We will make a turn now around the corner of the United States Naval Academy and head up the beautiful scenic Severn River. As we do, you'll see a green light on a 3-sided base. This light, named Triton Lights, was furnished as a monument by the Naval Academy class of 1945 and holds a glass sphere containing water from the 22 seas of the world. The crew of the USS Triton submarine obtained this water on the first underwater circumnavigation of the globe in 1960. During its 60-day, 21-hour voyage, USS Triton...
Right, folks, if you're standing, there's just going to be a little rock here, so just grab onto a railing or you see the thing.
Riding on the wave.
The building you see on your left with the peaked goal-shaped roof
Riding
is the Robert
on the
Crown
wave.
Sailing Center, built in 1974. The art of sailing is still considered to be important training for the midshipmen. Just beyond the Robert Crown Center is a water basin
You're
known as
riding on the
Santee Basin.
wave.
In the basin, you'll see small and medium-sized sailboats, all of which are used for training purposes. The larger of the boats, in fact, are taken out not only to Chesapeake Bay, but well out into the Atlantic Ocean for race training, where the students acquire a healthy respect for the might of the sea.
Every stone and every brick filled with
Behind the basin on our left side is a gray brick building with large glass windows. This is the Wesley Brown Field House, a training facility with advanced personal conditioning technology. Named for Lieutenant Commander Wesley A. Brown, who in 1949 became the Academy's first
And we are
African-American
riding on the
graduates.
way.
The 140,000 square foot facility includes weight training and sports medicine facilities, seating for over 750 spectators, as well as a track surface with hydraulically controlled banked curves. This 200-meter hydraulic track is one of only 4 of its kind in the U.S.
Riding on the way. I was made to be free. What? What's so
The two buildings closest to you are known as Chauvenet and Michelson Halls. Michelson was one of the first Americans to win the Nobel Prize in Physics for accurately measuring the speed of light. And Chauvenet was one of the original Academy professors in 1845. Behind the buildings, you'll see the dome of the United States Naval Academy Chapel with the gold peak. And yes, that is real gold. It's a magnificent building which includes the crypt of John Paul Jones, recognized as the first great naval hero in American history.
Sometimes you need to drop the work and go ride on the sea. Yes, and feel some of the sea breeze. Nothing wrong with that. I need some good food too. You and your honey hang out in paradise. A cruise away is a home away from the telephone call. Yes.
As we come alongside
You and your honey in paradise.
halls, you can look
You
between
can
them
extract some
and
money
see
from
the
the phone.
exterior of the chapel structure, whose interior
I'm not
is
alone.
even more beautiful.
Over there is
than
my
outside.
beauty queen.
During the French Revolution,
And her name is
Commodore
Charlene.
John Paul Jones died in 1792 at the age of 45. His body was buried in Paris, but in 1905, after a lengthy search, his remarkably preserved remains were discovered and transported back to the United States thanks to President Theodore Roosevelt. In 1913, his body was finally laid to rest here in the chapel in a magnificent marble sarcophagus, a beautiful dedication from the nation for which he helped gain independence.
Thank you for enjoying the view. But I need your thumbs up and your constructive critics too. Jesus loves me and he loves you.
The building on the corner with the
I'm going
vertical
to heaven
glass
and I want you to
windows
come with me when
is
Jesus
Hopper
comes
Hall.
back.
Opened in 2020, Hopper Hall is named for Admiral Grace Hopper, a renowned mathematician and computer programmer. The building is home to the Academy's Cyber Warfare and Computer Science departments. We're going to make our turn now, and as we do, there are a number of points of interest that you could view from the left, or port side of our vessel. First is the small body of water that you can see alongside of the classrooms, known as College Creek. This creek divides the Naval Academy and continues up to St. John's College. Just beyond the creek is a gray building that once operated as the United States Navy Hospital. A part of the building named Beach Hall currently serves as the headquarters of the United States Naval Institute, publisher of the Institute's Proceedings magazine, and the blockbuster novel, The Hunt for Red October. The two bridges you see spanning the Severn River are important arteries for the region's busy land traffic. The nearest, Route 450, is known as the Naval Academy Bridge and was completed in 1994. It carries local traffic between Annapolis and the residential areas on the far side. The current bridge replaced two earlier bridges, the first of which was built in 1886. The second bridge carries Route 50 and Route 301 traffic from the Washington, D.C. metro area to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and the eastern shore of Maryland. In the background beyond the first bridge is a magnificent white structure now known as Atria at Manresa. Originally a Catholic retreat, Manresa is now a deluxe retirement home and assisted living. There are many creeks in the Chesapeake, such as Spot Creek, from which we begin our journey. And there are many rivers.
Like me, I'm like my mom's from Iran, my dad from India, but I
If
grew
we
up in
add them all
Pakistan.
together,
Oh.
They're
the
from
shoreline of the creeks, rivers, coves,
Afghanistan
islands,
and Iran.
and the bay
And I'm
itself
Jamaica.
would total
Mereka mandan lu tuh, Pak.
Wagwan.
More than the shoreline of the
You're
east and
you're
west
reading a
coasts
Quran,
of
so
the
I
United States combined.
Well, you know,
The Chesapeake Bay
it's
is
a
the
book that
drowned valley
contains a lot of
the Susquehanna
information.
River,
A lot
which
of
has its
information.
Just like the Bible, you know.
Cooperstown, New York,
All sciences came
and runs
through
its
it.
way through the state of
Everything
New
is
York,
inside.
to the Commonwealth
In the world
of
you want it.
Pennsylvania, and
Yes, sir.
Maryland, where the river enters
Nah,
the bay about 65
I see that you
miles
believe in
north of
Jesus in the
here.
Quran too.
Annapolis has
Yeah,
an
this is
average
like in,
rise and fall of
Like
approximately
fourth
4 foot.
important passengers of the God is one of the Jesus.
Although the flow
Yeah.
of the Susquehanna
And after
River
the
is
Jesus, like we have
Annapolis water
Muhammad,
reasonably
the last one.
fresh.
Yes. And then the prophet said that should come
Uses an array of solvents,
in the generation to come.
Oysters may not have prize-winning good looks. They certainly take the cake in cleaning the environment and acting
When you
as
get
a
that one?
culinary treat. Filtered the entire volume of water of the bay with just
I'm gonna get me one.
overharvesting,
I like it.
disease, pollution, and habitat loss have led to a severe drop in oyster populations
This
and the
event
demise
is set up
of the
for
bay's
live
healthy
shooting.
reefs. However, oyster recovery programs returning empty shells to
Thank
reefs
you.
in the either hard or soft shell, both of which are quite a delicacy. And lastly, the bay produces an abundance of fish. One of the most plentiful is called menhaden. Along with oysters, menhaden play a critical role in the food chain of the Chesapeake Bay. They provide birds, as well as mitigating toxic algae blooms that can be detrimental to several marine species. Another important element of menhaden is the oil they produce that is high in omega-3 fatty acids, a molecule that provides many important health benefits. On our left side, you can see the David Taylor Naval Research and Development Center, which was once the largest ship testing facility in the world. Work at the center covered analytical studies and experiments on small-scale model vessels to the testing of fully operational ships and submarines. Over the years, their considerable research in marine engineering and architecture resulted in the revolutionary improvement of ship acoustics and hull designs. There was even a maneuvering and seakeeping facility equipped with multiple wave makers that can help predict the performance of ships in rough seas. However, due to the advent of electronic computers, the need for rudimentary calculation of data became obsolete. The facility has now been shut down and transferred